but we'll make it happen one day, he said.
Yeah, Milos is a legend. He's been competing alongside guys like Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. He's been in the game for a long time. And, there's a lot of these guys who are established legends in the sport. And Iris Kyle, people might say this, she has 10 Miss Olympias. That's 10 Olympia titles. Not just because it's the Miss Olympia, it's 10 Olympia titles. That's two more than Ronnie, two more than Linda, two more than
Mm,
Alina Garcia, and two more than Sid Gillen. Sid could have pushed for one more
mm,
if she wanted to, but I think with her, she wanted to enjoy her life. She's married, she's doing other stuff outside the sport, the Triple O Dynasty. She also has another show in Georgia where she promotes. Um, Here, my man KL, he says this. He says, I like how thick she is with the muscularity. Shout out to him. Also,
mm.
he says, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite food?
Oh goodness me, I like it. I like all foods. But it's funny after a competition, I really fancied Japanese sushi. I love sushi, and Vegas is amazing. We went to Chinatown and found a great little restaurant and just had it was pretty much all you can eat, and yeah, it was beautiful, just so fresh, and the flavors are just magnificent. So I'd have to say probably Japanese sushi and is the best, number one.
Yeah, yeah, especially after competition. I know you ladies, you're on the diet, you're prepping, and you can't
Mm,
eat everything because one thing about food, it's a part of the process, but it's depending what you eat. And I know those Vegas buffets. I got a friend of mine. We just talked a while ago. She just made her pro debut, and she really was ready hinking for something for food, and went to one of the buffets. I mean, I like going to buffet. My favorite is like a Chinese buffet here. It's next time over.
yeah,
They
yeah,
have about everything. You be just, I need to cut back on. I'm losing some weight. I went to my doctor, lost 3 pounds, but sometimes it's just food can be just a tempting thing.
yeah,
Sometimes it's just things that just
yeah.
you have no control over it. You desire it. It's like anarchy. It's chaos. It just it tastes good, but like a lot of bodybuilders are foodies. They enjoy the process of food and eating. So as you said again, you are planning on making your shoot for your pro card maybe at the Miss International next year. What did the judges give you on the feedback at the Olympic Amateurs?
Yeah, so when he came backstage, he just said you need a bigger back, bigger, thicker back. So that's what we're working on, and he said just need to be leaner and harder. So like I said, um, we'll just get to work when we get home. It's fine. Yeah, like I'm actually really looking forward to this trip has been so inspiring and just seen some amazing physiques. Even my husband and the bestie that came over with me just said, "Wow, we were just all so inspired." So going home to get to work will be will be good. Yeah, and we've trained in some awesome gyms over here as well. Just like I said before, you feel like a kid in the candy store. We trained at Flex's gym, the Dragon's Lair. Man, that was the atmosphere. I've never been in a gym with like such electric atmosphere. There were lines to equipment. People trying to get on equipment. Um, it's funny, and it's you do a set and everyone's checking everyone out, and yeah, everyone's having photos. It was just awesome. Iron banging and crashing, and yeah, just makes you hungry to want to get better, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
So and that's why that back home, like you think you train hard by yourself, but that's why you have to go to these people that keep you honest, that push you out of the comfort zone, that don't give a shit about your feelings or your hurting, or and that's something that Shane and George are really good at, pushing me too. So yeah, they give a shit about your feelings, and they just push you and push you, and because they know what the athletes need, us sort of athletes need, to get to that next level, to get to competitions like this, to ultimately for me at the moment to get that pro card. So that's the next thing I'll be really focusing on until we come back over here for the Chicago pro, is just work, work, work.
yeah. It's a lot of work because you know what? It's a tough sport, but if you love it bad enough and if you want it bad enough, you're determined to get it. You put in the work. You make the time. You make the sacrifices.
Mm,
People got to understand there's a lot to the sport that takes to get to that next level. Like I said, everything
mm,
you have to be a complete athlete. I know most definitely the back's the most important part when you want to do, because I've seen some women who want to show because of their back. They might be off in one area, but then if that back is comes in with great styrations, a lot of size and density, they have won their shows or even earned their pro cards. We here we have here from American KL. He says, "Did George in Australia ever competed before? I don't know if you mentioned it. So he ever competed, George?"
Yeah, no, George never competed in bodybuilding, but he's pretty much a bodybuilder. But he competed in gridiron. The scouts came over from America to Australia and wanted to take him back to America for gridiron. Yeah, and he also competed in Olympic lifting as well. So that's was his foundation. So yeah, and like I said, like in Western Australia, we um, finding those sort of people with that sort of experience is really hard. And as you know, in gyms everywhere, there's a lot of trainers, and you can get that sort of stuff off the weedy box. But people with that sort of life experience, like Shane surrounding himself with Milos all those years, that's life experience. It's not what you get from a book or what you learn at personal training school. Um, it's actually being around those amazing people and you know, feeding off them. That's
Yeah,
how you
kind
get
of
better.
like I always said, metal sharpen metal. It's
Yeah.
great to learn and have some build you up and support you. Like especially your friends, your family. What was that like with your other family members when you started getting into bodybuilding? What was their thoughts on it?
Yeah, they were pretty supportive, like they like I said, my dad was a huge supporter when I was doing the racehorse training, because we're from a farm in a little place called Donnybrook in Western Australia. So yeah, it was all this sort of bodybuilding and weightlifting and stuff was foreign to them, Like my dad would say, "Oh, that's just all for show. If you want go and do a hard day's work, you'll be fine." And so that's why I used to do the horse training and stuff because you needed the income. Um, so, but yeah, like I said, when I used to watch my friends do these amazing transformations, I thought, wow, I really want to do that. So yeah, like from a small town. So um, my parents are really supportive with everything that I've done, and I always surround myself with people um, that are supportive anyway. So
That's good. Support is important because you know what? People are going to make their prejudgments, especially women in bodybuilding. They make comments
mm,
like, "Well, he's trying to be a man, yada 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 yada." No, she's an athlete.
mm,
Like any athlete, she has to
mm,
train and work hard. Like you don't say that too often about any look at like people like Simone Biles or someone like who else I'm trying to think of some of the great competitive players in the sport of soccer and other sports where women, it's easy to pick on women's bodybuilding more than to pick on the other ones. But society is
mm,
just not acceptable to the idea. I know had some ladies comment how their parents don't understand, and then eventually they got supported. But then there's always, that outside of it. The people don't really just don't know what it takes. Like I said again, I
mm,
know there's times you want to go hang out with your friends, but you can't because you got to train, you got to get up, you got
mm,
to work out. You can't, your
mm,
husband may not always go out and eat as often as you like because you're on a diet, you're prepping. There's so much
mm,
involved in this
yeah,
that people need to read. That's why I have these discussions and do interviews because this is what people need to understand.
absolutely,
This is from man
yeah.
KL. He says, I like to cook Japanese food with the beef teriyaki.
Uh,
Also, yeah.
that's the
Also,
first
he
thing we
said,
ordered, the beef teriyaki. So good
yeah,
choice.
yeah. And it says, how far do you see yourself competing if you can answer? So, what you think? You think you want to keep on going to your pro card, or you think like you know,
No, 100%. I want that pro card, definitely. Yeah. And, the pinnacle for me is the real O. Watching that last night, I had goosebumps when watching Andrea and Angela fight it off. I thought, wow, like just to make top five, like, would be a dream. So, and watching, Tracy, um, since we met her in Melbourne before we came here, um, and to this trip here, we've built a great friendship. Feel like I've known her for years. But even just watching her journey, like just for her to make the top 10 and make the finals last night, like just gives me goosebumps. Like it's funny. Her comments were she needed a bigger back as well. So from when she won her pro show in Toronto to the O. in a short amount of time, she made huge improvements with her back. So that's the sort of stuff that makes you tick and keep grinding and get through the hard mornings and inspires you, so yeah, I want to go all the way,
Hmm.
absolutely. And I'm really, really lucky. My husband is super supportive, which is, you know, a must. Like, you see a lot of people with all the talent in the world, but they just don't have that support. And to come to an event and make it this far, you must have support. And listening to Andrea Shaw's um, speech last night after she won, that was one of the major things that she said as well. Just the support and thanking God and for putting stuff in front of her. She had to make some different choices before she won the O. I think 4 weeks before she trained trainers or coaches or something. Um, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, because I mean, I watched the Rise of Phoenix, and she like I remember actually the first time I saw her compete. Well, it was a competition. She was a guest posing about a few years ago. It was at the Savannah Pro, where she was guest posing. It was her and Mona Personally, and she looked a little soft, but still, Mona, like she could have competed the show that day and maybe win the show. But when she did the Rise of Phoenix that next day, I think a month later, so later, she was just on. I think she got a little complacent, maybe because the judging was it was a switch of judge because Sadie Williamson usually judges that show, but now she's judging the she also judges the Olympia. And Angela, she came in the best condition. I give it that, but I felt like she might have peaked too soon. I know you want to beat her to Rising Phoenix, but the main show is the Olympia. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Andrea, it was just her size was just undeniable. Her condition was just at the best. She said it when she after an interview said, "I got to go to work," and she took the time off. Didn't come back home. Her mama stayed in Arizona, and they worked and trained. And I think she had a new coach. I don't think she was John Simmons anymore, and really brought it back up. This is something I want to show you real quick. A while back, a friend of mine, Eunice, was at the Olympia a couple of years, was the last year. She got me this magazine, and it's the last issue of Muscle Development with Andrea being the first woman in years for women's body to be on the cover. And she just great thing. I love showing this off because this is what she signed it for me.
Oh,
And
wow. You definitely
this
keep
is
that one. That's awesome.
this is yes, I love it. I hug it. I named it George. So and I really I get to learn a lot when I talk to women like yourself and who are in the sport, women who are in the game, people who try to get in the game. I really get a learn because here my crime is I'm a muscle per smoke. I think y'all ladies are beautiful. I mean, y'all buff muscles bodies tight me, but I respect your commitment and passion for the sport. Here's from my man Exit Gucci 23. Hello, brother. He says, "Hey, George and Milan. Appreciate brother coming through." Also, this is from a man, Kate Ellie says, the society throw darts at women bodybuilders. Yeah, they do. Also, he has a question like this. He says, um, do they have natural bodybuilding in Australia? I'm just asking.
Yeah, 100%. So, like I said, I'm a personal trainer at the World Gym at Bunbury, and I've just prepped pretty much a little team for one of the shows they call ICN in Australia. It's I Compete Natural. Yeah, and they did really well. We had one girl take out the overall. Other ladies, place in every class they did. So in the ICN, they get to compete in, 4 or 5 different classes as well. So they have bikini mama and fitness mama and, tall, short, blah, blah, blah. So it's a great start for them. Um, yeah, so um, we yeah, have I work alongside another lady that does their nutrition, and I do their training, and yeah, we have a great little thing going in down in the southwest in Western Australia. So um, a lot of people that come to me and say, "Oh, I want to do what you do, and I want to compete," because they're in the gym, they've done their transformation, they're just sort of looking for that next thing. Yeah, we always encourage them to start with the natural shows and just teach them what it takes, the training, the lifestyle, what this sort of sport requires, and then they go from there.
Yeah, because natural, I think I think there's some other organizations. There's natural bodybuilding, there's OCB. I think also the PCA. It's a different look compared to the more enhanced competitors. But if things get more attention, because I think they also have a national competition coming up in about a few months. That's the Ben Weeder Natural Show. That's in Virginia. And like I said, you got to find what works for you as an athlete. and what way you want to
Yeah.
go. So as you're training, what's that one thing? No, no, what's these things? What's the exercise you like the most, and the exercise like, damn, I got to do it today. Why I got to do it?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, what's the exercise that you like the most, and the one you say, I hate doing it. I don't want to do it, but you got to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I love training legs, so I get
Oh my
excited on
god,
leg day.
you're a
Yep.
mutant. You're a mutant.
But one thing I hated doing, which I make myself do all the time now, is pull ups. So back day. So pull ups. And I've had that feedback. Like you need a bigger back, need a bigger back. So it's it's a must now. Every back day we pull up.
Yeah, you
And I'm
gotta.
like, damn, I'm a big girl. That's a lot of weight to pull up.
Well, like I said, you want that pro card, you got to put the work in. They're
That's
not going
it.
to give it
That's
to
it. So
you.
I make myself do it. Yep.
Yeah, you got the thing. As an athlete, you have to work on all factors. Work on your strengths as much as you work on your weaknesses. And I think if you concentrate on improving your back and just bring it development, it could be the thing that gets you your pro card.
Mm.
Here, it's from man K. Ellie says, imagine Simone Biles as a Miss Olympia in years to come. That would be interesting, and would people be into to watch? Maybe. I mean, something like Simone Biles. A lot of those gymnasts, if you look at some of these ladies and gymnasts, they have, even though you can see they have abs, muscle development, just from like almost maybe I would say fitness competitors. Many fitness competitors have gymnast background. You can see that muscle development. You look at some track stars. I mean, it's a lot of ladies that did interviews who were in track, because it's a different level. Because it's like you run 200 milliliters or 100 milliliters compared to me being a long distance runner. You need that muscle for that push. Um, Here he says, uh, my girl, okay, she likes leg day. And also, he's picking on me. He says, it's a felony charge for being a schmoes. Yeah, well, folks, we all know that, but you know what? We like ladies like this. We love people like Renae. She's been, I want to say it like this, Renae. You are beautiful. I'm sorry about him. He can't help himself. So, like I said, the plan is to go back, make the improvements, maybe possibly come back next year. And will you think you want to make your pro debut after, or you want to give yourself more time to grow?
Oh, I think that's something that I'll work with the coach. But yeah, 100% after, if I get that pro card, or when I get the pro card, if they give you the opportunity to step on that pro stage, why wouldn't I? I'm there. You know, it's just another opportunity to stand next to the pros and be compared again, and more feedback, and then go home to work again. So yeah, I think I would definitely do it there and then.
Yeah. And one thing
It's
is,
an
I think,
opportunity.
yeah, one thing that helps for you ladies is sponsorship. I know the cost of coming here from Australia. I mean, would you ever consider doing, getting sponsors? Because, it's important, especially as you are training, getting ready. Because, like I said, again, the cost of, there's not that many shows for pro qualification in Australia. You have to go to other countries. Sponsorship does help. So if anybody's interested in sponsoring her, reach out. We're interested and show support. And you have any
Yeah,
sponsors right now? Or
100%.
everything's on your shoulders?
Yeah, so the couple of the shows, the World Gym has helped me, but my major sponsor at the moment is my husband. um, yeah, and like I said, those sponsors would be absolutely make you be next level. So I know it's a little bit like everything. A lot of promises are made. And I've had people offer me sponsorships before and stuff like that, and a lot of promises are made, but then the following through, um, it never really happens. So that's a bit of a letdown. But yeah, always looking for
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
sponsorship.
I talked to a couple ladies say that people reach out to him, but then here's the thing: some of these guys like, "Hey Renee, I know I saw you one buff Aussie. You mind if you put a strip out of Bobby? No, 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 no. That's guys. Come on, guys. This lady's
Mm.
she's a nice lady. She's married. She's respectful. Don't do that. When you reach out to
Mm.
these ladies, reach out with genuine interest. Be like this, same like Miss Malan. We saw you last competition. You look very impressive. I know it's cost expense for you to come here from the States. if you'll be interested in and be a brand ambassador for our company, we'll help you,
Mm.
maybe possibly get you set up for a pro qualification in the future. And all we need for you is just to represent our company. If it's something that you like, a product we have that we like, and you want to be part of it, you're welcome. We sign a contract, set everything up, and get you in a good space where you can be top
100%.
level.
Everything up board where you're both